Hi, I'm Andre Freeman with Luke and Miles. First, today we're going to be talking about the college football playoffs, then the NBA Finals, and is the hype around Zion justified or not? Okay, so Luke, who do you think? Obviously, Alabama and Clemson are going to make it. So who do you think, other than Alabama and Clemson, are going to make it to the college football playoffs?
I think first, Michigan is going to make it to the college football playoffs, and let me tell you why. They're returning their quarterback, Shea Patterson. They also have one of the best wide receiver cores in the league with Donovan Peoples-Jones, Tariq Black, and Nico Collins. Their defense is going to be good, as always. They got a new offensive coordinator in Joe Gaddis. He's going to really get the play calling going as opposed to Harbaugh. And my second team is the Oregon Ducks. Now, my partner over here is going to disagree with me, but I think Oregon is a real sleeper team this year. A lot of people question their Pac-12 schedule, but they go on the road to Arlington week 1 to play Auburn, which should be a really good test. They also have their quarterback, Justin Herbert, returning. We thought he was going to go to the draft, but he came back for another year. They also picked up a really talented freshman wide receiver, Micah Pittman, and their big recruit, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's going to be an absolute beast for defense. And I look for Oregon and Michigan to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on that because Clemson and Alabama are definitely going to make it. There's no doubt. But LSU and Oklahoma are definitely making the playoffs. Oklahoma usually makes the playoffs every year. And, they got transfer Jalen Hurts from Alabama, who's really going to help. He could possibly be a Heisman sleeper. And just last year's Oklahoma defense was not that good. But that's Big 12 offense for you. And I think with their receiving core and CeeDee Lamb, I'm pretty sure is back, right? Yeah. I think Oklahoma makes the playoffs for the 3 spot, and then I think LSU makes a spot. They do head to Alabama on the road, but I think they can lose that game and still not make the SEC championship, but make the playoffs because of how many wins they had and then their schedule. Because they host Florida and they host Auburn at home, and then they head to Mississippi State, and they host A&M also in the last game of the year. So those are my 2 teams making the playoffs.
Well, I don't think 2 SEC teams are getting in. That's just not going to happen.
That's usually how it goes.
There's too much talent this year. There's not going to be 2 SEC teams.
You can put Alabama and Georgia or Florida in the SEC championship game, but I think LSU is going to make the playoffs because of how they're going to beat Florida, and I think that's the deciding factor.
So you're telling me that a team that doesn't even make its own conference championship game would get in?
Yes. I'm saying that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you guys think about the NBA Finals? What are your predictions? Obviously, the series being 2-1 right now, staying in Golden State. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's over. The Raptors already won this series. They were able to steal a game at Golden State. They're going to do it again in Game 4. Going back to Toronto, up 3-1. This series is over. They're going to close it out in 6.
I'm disagreeing with you again. Warriors in 7 because Klay Thompson is coming back. Even though they do not have Kevon Looney, and most likely they won't have Durant, I think the Warriors are just too talented with this squad. DeMarcus Cousins in the paint, Draymond Green. I just think the Warriors have the more talent. And the off and on by Toronto throughout the whole series has been a key factor for the Warriors winning that game too. And also another factor is the Warriors have been down at halftime the first 2 or 3 games. I think Game 2 they were up at halftime. And they've came back from being down at halftime against Portland and all the other series. So I think the Warriors will take Game 7.
I think you Warriors fans need to make up your mind. Before the series, it was Warriors in 4. After Game 1, it was Warriors in 5. Now it's Warriors in 6 or Warriors in 7. It's not going to happen. The Raptors have this series won. It's over. Toronto's your NBA champion.
I can tell you this, I'm not against the Raptors. I wanted the Raptors to win in the first place, but I think with Thompson coming back, most likely fully healthy, or most likely healthy, I think the Warriors have too much of an advantage over Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors.
They had that advantage in Game 1, and look what happened.
Well, okay.
Okay, so going into the NBA draft, what is the draft? Only a couple weeks away now. We know Zion's going to be the number 1 pick, but he is obviously the most hyped athlete in sports right now. Is that hype justified or not? Luke, go ahead.
Absolutely not. Zion hasn't even stepped on an NBA court yet. There's really no reason to be hyping him up. Yes, he was a really good player in college, but we've seen busts before. If he were to play poorly in the NBA, he would probably be the biggest bust ever because of all the hype that he's getting. But I don't think it's right to be hyping him up so much because he hasn't even played in the NBA yet. He's playing against college kids that are 18, 19, 20 years old. They're not fully developed yet. He's going to be going against grown men in the NBA. Until he plays his first NBA game, we'll see how good he really is.
Third time disagreeing with you today. Zion is going to live up to the hype. He has the body. I think it takes time to adjust to the NBA because, a lot of traveling and a lot of physical people because, of course, they're veterans in the NBA. But I think Zion's going to live up to the hype because just how good he is. Even though he hasn't stepped on an NBA court yet, I think he is one of the best players, and he'll grow up to his hype. Later, probably 3-4 years, he'll be kind of on the level of LeBron, maybe a little bit less than that.
Okay, with all that being said, it's been Andre Freeman with Luke and Miles in Sports Broadcasting Camp at SMU.